Hello sewing friends, and welcome to another episode of Sequin Girly Creates. If you're looking for an episode where I talk to you about my new obsession, it's a sewing one, and what I've been up to, what I've been making, and a little bit of shopping, whoops, then this is the episode for you. Stick around. Well, hello everybody, hope you're well, and I can't believe it's now June. Oh my goodness. So Me Made May is over, but I'm not done on reviewing my wardrobe, and I'm not stopping because Me Made May is done. So there is 2 more episodes to come. One which is the wardrobe audit, the final one about the proportions of my wardrobe, and then there'll of course be the spring summer plans. The rail will be out, and so will the patterns, etc. So they are still to come. I'm not bothered that May is over. It's not relevant. I need to keep going. I have a vlog coming soon as well about what I got up to, not Friday just gone, but the Friday before. So let's start with what I'm wearing. I am wearing 2 makes that I have made in the last week, so I will tell you about them in a minute. And I also have on some Jazz and Wow earrings, so thank you to Becky. She had a little offer on, and I can't ignore an offer. I wait and wait, and then I do an offer. So I got these ones. How could I not? Because look at the colours, they're perfect for me. And I got these ones ready for So Fruity. So perfect strawberry one. So very on point there, Becky. And she sent her lovely little signature button, which I think has bits of fabric in it. But very kindly, Becky sent me these as well that go with my earrings. So I can't wait to work out what to use those on. So if you haven't popped over and had a look at Jazz and Wow, that's Becky's shop that's on Etsy. I'll leave a link below. But these are very me. So she had an offer on. I did purchase those. Do you want to see what else happened? It's quite good, but I try not to. So first fabrics I think had 15% off. And let me start with telling you what I did the other day. It's sat here. I was trying to choose a ribbing to put on a top that I'd got, and although I store all the ribbing together, it was a bit swirled. It was mixed in with other things, so I actually changed over what was in this box. I love these boxes from IKEA. I use them in the kitchen, this size and the smaller version, and I did this to my ribbing. Look at that. What, most of them are like half quarters and half meters, but that is such a joy to look at like that, and they've come from everywhere. But it means I can easily assess which colours I don't have and stop myself buying the repeats, because when I see a remnant, that's the thing I'll buy, is a bit of ribbing remnant. So now I can easily look, and I might even take a photo of that to have on my phone, because then even if I'm not at home or in my sewing space, I know which ones I need. Now I do have more black than any other. So First Fabrics had 15% off, and so I grabbed whatever this was. Is it half a metre? That looks like half a metre, isn't it? Of the green tubular ribbing. And I didn't have the lovely apple green, and I knew that that's actually the one I wanted the other day. So that will slot perfectly now into the quite dull for me green section there. So that's going to slot in there. And then I looked at the blues, and I only had like a sort of proper sort of school blue, as I like to think of it, like a sort of a cobalt blue. So I went for like the sort of like the Tiffany blue, and like a lovely sort of I think of that as like a sort of Mediterranean aquary blue. So that means that it was really easy for me to go through my selection. Now I'm a bit worried it's not going to fit in, is it? The boring black's going to have to come out and go elsewhere, I think. So that these can then fit into the selection. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Right, boring black, out you come. You can go somewhere else. So let's get these slotted into the lovely selection. And then it's easy, it's joyful to choose. And that's one of the things I'm working on with not just my clothes, but with my storage as well, is that things, where possible, it's not always possible because of the limited space, but where possible, things are joyful. Because actually now it's a pleasure to have a look at and choose these. That very dull cut navy's coming out as well. Right, here we go. So I want to show you, that's why I'm juggling it about. So there we go, look, they've slotted in. So look at that, that works so well. Now you might buy just for specific projects, but because of the way my brain works, I will shop my stash and go, oh, I could make that into, I'm going to need a ribbing, and then I need to search for a ribbing. So it does help me, and sorry for the threads on here, but it is me being excited to wear it to show you. That helps my creative process. And then the other thing I grabbed from First for Fabrics was, not a surprise, a jersey, but it felt like a summer jersey. Now I think it is, yeah, it's more of just a jersey. It's not a French terry, and I thought that was a nice summery one for like a t-shirty dress, like when you just want something just a bit bright and joyful. And now you see I can go to my box and choose which ribbing will work. So there we go. And then Lamazi had 15% off their remnants. Well, you know I love a remnant, and in a minute I'll tell you about my new obsession, and that will be something I can do with remnants. So I got a little bit of this, I've got it in other colours, but just a small bit. A little bit of this one, a blue, I think this is ribbon, it's like a t-shirt, is it tubular ribbing? It looked like blue t-shirt fabric, which I thought could be used for ribbing, like round a neckline. I mean knickers if not. This one, which I know I've seen on Fabric Godmother as well, and I thought that could be, I think there's enough there for a tank top, isn't there? And this Narita Hanson, now I've got this in a different colourway. This was one with a fault, I believe. So it was reduced. It did say, I think it was a fault. I got half a metre of that. Again, that'll make it just a nice like Naya t-shirt or something. And now I can choose which colour plain neckline to go with it. Sometimes it's nice to have a plain neckline to bring out a colour. I think the fault is like it's got some lines in it, like some track lines actually. There we go. But let me tell you, so this is quite a small piece of fabric as a remnant. Look, it's just this. So you might think not a lot you can do with that. Well, firstly, because it's like a cotton voile, it could immediately become a scarf, which by the way, remnants would be great for scarves if you want to bring a bit of colour into your wardrobe and you're not sure how. Try a little remnant. Look at that. £4, cheaper than buying a scarf, and it stops this remnant going into the bin. Well, I could just wear it like this. Okay, while I'm wearing this like this, here's one of the other remnants. There we go. This can become something with my new thing. Now I need to stop building up the new obsession, don't I? Let me tell you what it is. Hang on. So for Christmas, secondhand, my other half, on my request, bought me one of these. Now you might not recognise it yet, you might do. It is one of the Simplicity bias binding machines. So you put this in here, the roll goes in there, and you clip in the tip in here, and it goes through here and out the other side. Now I've had it since December, and I played with it once and got a bit meh and walked away and didn't do it again. But I am working on still the quilted jackets for you all. And I suddenly thought, do you know what, I could make my own bias binding. Now I have got the kind where you do the iron as it comes through, but I know making quilted jackets you need a lot. So I thought it's time to get this puppy out. Now the one I had was the older version, and it had lots of tips, but not the one I needed, which was the 1-inch one that is called single fold, but basically it folds a bit under either side. I'll show you the other tips I had. It is, so you might recognise that this is the older style box. So I had some tips, but they were either teeny tiny, like look at the size of that one, that's a 1/8 bias binding. I mean, that's like rouleau loop territory. And then these were what's called quilt binding. So I feel like they get folded on one side. It's like it's a different way round. I was very puzzled. I need to try one actually, but I was a bit like, oh. And it was odd that I didn't get them. So I had emailed Simplicity and they had told me that what I was looking for was single fold. So I actually went online because that 1-inch one's like that and the one I'm using is like this. So I should do a comparison, shouldn't I? So anyway, I emailed Simplicity. They told me what I was looking for was a single fold. I was hoping they'd tell me they sold the tips, but I don't know if they do in the UK. I think they do in the US. I found one on eBay. It was not cheap, but I bought myself a tip and I'm so glad I did, because the 1-inch single fold tip that does the way we think of bias binding, I've become like a demon. First of all, it's the most I've ever used a ruler and my cutting mat and the actual markings on my cutting mat. Now, anybody who knows anything about me, probably those of you who are regular viewers, I'm not the world's most accurate person. Well, you need to be when you're making bias binding, don't you? So I tried various techniques, including the one where you stitch it, you cut it into triangles and then stitch it together, and then you can cut like continuously round. And I've cut ones on the bias. I've done both. And then like where you stitch them together at 90 degrees and then it folds back. Shall I show you what I've made? So just for a reminder, if anyone's not sure what I'm talking about, this is the stuff we buy. And you've got those two bits like that there, yeah? So that's what I wanted to make. And I've realised it's called a single tip. So I started with a remnant of some fabric which you might recognise, which is a vintage fabric I have. And there we go, look at that. Look at that whole roll. So I cut that one in diagonal strips and stitched them together. But it didn't stop there. So then I went rummaging in my slightly scary remnant leftover. Remnant, that's not what we call it, is it? Scraps bin, which is now a scraps mountain and now all over the floor in our front room. This weekend I have to clear that up. And I found this fat quarter. Look at that one. No idea what I'm going to use it on. I was having fun by this point. So then the following day at 7 AM, I got out some more vintage fabric and made these. You know, they are slightly different. One is more yellow than the other one. But look at those. Look at the gorgeousness of those. And then in the evening, got out another vintage sheet that I had. Look at these ones. This one has on it, when you get further into it, it's like an old St Michael's one. Look at that, the Art Deco design on there. Oh, I just like, yeah. And I realised that actually doing all the cutting and then all the stitching and then putting them onto, oh, the joy of watching it come out of the machine. I love it. And then today I found some other fat quarters I had hanging around. So I did one with cars on. I had a Michael Miller fabric that was like these sort of like Dutch houses, from like Amsterdam type houses. Look with that on. I use this as a lining for a coat that I did, and then this one. So I've been having a whale of a time making binding, and I am thinking that I possibly might have to sell a bit of it, because I've turned out quite a few of my vintage sheets, and actually sometimes they're a little bit stiff for making a whole garment with, but they're perfect cut on the bias for bias binding. So if you would be interested, do let me know, because maybe I can, when I keep working on this and when I've, yeah, I'm going to make more. I've turned out downstairs, as I say, the scraps mountain, and I've got some gorgeous fat quarters. It's amazing how much you can make from like a double fat quarter. Well, it's like a half a metre or whatever, isn't it? And these things that have been just hanging around for years, like literally like 15 years, some of them, where I used to make a lot of bags and now I don't. And so yeah, I've got quite a few different vintage fabrics. I've got a pink one, I've got striped ones. I think these Art Deco ones are gorgeous, aren't they? if you would be interested in me doing a little vlog about how I use the machine and how I make my bias binding and any tips, do leave me a comment and let me know. Right, so what have I been making? So I have made this, which is an LB pullover without the sleeves. I'm still trying to decide on a collar, whether I'm just going to hem it, as it might just bring it down a little, or whether to do like a black or a white. White's risky, isn't it, round face because of makeup. But I think I saw the news the other day, UK probably going to have a super rainy summer. Boo. So might as well sew things like this that I'll enjoy wearing. Another closet core tee, free pattern. Love these. This is like a viscous jersey. I do lengthen the sleeve, but even this is still a little bit. So if you haven't done it yet, watch out for the sleeve length. I'm probably going to put blue ribbing around there because I've done that with one of the previous ones. I'm going to do it again. I made another closet core. Yes, I think I'm up to nearly double figures now in closet core. This one was a jersey that was in my stash for a while. I had a good little stash shop the other day, and super soft. Please don't ask me, I can't remember where I got it. I got this as a remnant or a sale piece. Really soft, and I did a 3/4 length sleeve on that one. And then, because why wouldn't you, I made another Tammy Handmade Naya. And let's see if you recognise the fabric. It was the leftovers from making the gorgeous jersey dress. This is a Little Legs fabric, and I think this was the thing that prompted me to need to tidy my ribbing. Is I chose this green. I just felt it worked perfectly, so I did it actually for the cuff. So it's not traditional as in you need the ribbing, but I just really liked the contrast. I just thought it made it, that feels like quite an 80s t-shirt to me. I'll put it on with those stonewashed Levi's I found in a charity shop. Joyful, and could easily wear like this underneath. And I'm really loving having enough of a fabric I made something with left to make another item. So that's a really great thing. And I did make some wide leg trousers. I made them in this lilac viscous slub, I want to say viscous linen slub, something like that. It was from First Fabrics. It was on offer a while ago. Just a nice pair of swooshy wide leg trousers. See, they'd look perfect with this as well. I need to shorten them because even though I shorten the pattern, they're still too long. So that's what I've been making alongside the secret quilted jacket project and the pattern test, which I haven't finished, which I will. So there are some challenges coming up right now. So we've got So Fruity happening for June. My vlog is coming out on the 5th of June, so I'm not going to say much more now, but there's a whole vlogger tour, and there's lots of details on Instagram and on YouTube, so just look out for So Fruity. Yvette is doing the 1st of June and explaining it all, and I'll be appearing on the 5th of June for that. And then there is, and I'm hoping I'm going to say this right, So Blood Pressure 24. Now this is run by B Silva. I'm sorry if I've said your name wrong. She decided to do this challenge because a lot of people put off going to see the doctors, etc., with blood pressure, and it can be life-threatening. And she's had a personal family experience with this, and so her challenge, and I'll put that up here, is to sew something you've been putting off, which is a great idea. I'm trying to decide what. I'm thinking possibly the Zadie jumpsuit, because that's now been a pattern that I keep thinking about and still haven't done, or using a fabric that I keep putting off. So I'm trying to decide which one, but I think it's a great challenge because it's something that you're already thinking about doing, so it doesn't cause you to need to buy anything new. It's just something that's been hanging around that you've been putting off. So Recreate the Look, I have seen that is appearing. If I can find anything, I'll put it here. It's probably not the one I'm going to take part in this month. It's a lovely idea, and I know some people really love it, and I think it is really nice thing to do, but it just doesn't work for me. I think it's a really creative thing to do, and I love a creative challenge, but for me, I haven't got easily to mind something I could create that I will then get use out of. And so it's something for me to keep on the back burner for future years, but right now, reviewing what's right for me, it's just not right for me at the moment. But it's a lovely challenge, and I love seeing what people do with it. Now, if you are a vlogger or thinking about being a vlogger, Christine and I are bringing back the Busy Bee Sewing Challenge for this year. It will run for July, August and September again, hopefully. We are looking for other vloggers to take part. If you don't have a YouTube channel, that's okay, because people will be able to take part as well using the hashtag. No prizes, just for fun, just for creative challenge. But if you are a vlogger or are going to start vlogging, and this might be the thing that gets you started, I'll put the Google form below. You do need to let us know by the 17th of June, because it starts in July and I need to have time to pair everybody up for the pattern challenge. So do let us know if you want to take part by filling in the Google form. Well, I'm going to stop now. It's been lovely to catch up with you all. I was really looking forward to showing you some of my makes, and I will catch you again soon. Do let me know if you'd like a vlog all about the bias binding machine, or if you're interested in my bias binding. And up here I've put a link to my Me Made May episode about working out what kind of outfits I need to wear. Just in case if you haven't seen it, you can hop over and have a look at that episode. I'll catch you again soon. Bye.